Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if one offers me even a leaf, a flower, a fruit or water with love, I accept it. But have you ever seen this verse come alive before your eyes? Today we will witness a real-life pastime of Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj that perfectly demonstrates this eternal truth. We have already seen in two previous videos how a spiritual master protects his disciple. In those videos we witnessed how Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj protected his disciple Sharada Dasi during one of the most difficult periods of her life when she was alone with her newborn daughter. We also saw how by the causeless mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sharada Mataji miraculously obtained a government teacher job. Sharada Mataji thought, now that I have become a government school teacher, my spiritual life is secure. Gurudeva has solved all my problems and now I can provide my daughter with a stable and promising future. But the truth is that the battle against Maya in this material world never truly ends, especially for one who chooses the path of devotional service. In this battle, there is only one hope of victory, a sincere desire to serve and taking shelter of a pure devotee like Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj. Today we will witness yet another extraordinary example of how a spiritual master protects and responds to his surrendered disciple in the most unexpected ways. After receiving the government job which Sharada Mataji and her mother Barangada Mataji had obtained through heartfelt prayers at the lotus feet of Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj, their home was filled with immense joy. The heavy burden of wondering how a single mother and her younger daughter would survive in this world seemed to have completely disappeared. Perhaps this was one of the rarest government appointments in history, one that came directly through the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his pure devotee. Sharada Mataji's first posting was in a government school in the Paschim Midnapur district of West Bengal. The school was located in a remote village where most of the residents were Muslim families. Every day she cycled nearly 30 kilometers to the school and back. The villagers were kind, affectionate and respectful. They even requested her to stay in the village permanently and assured her that they would take full responsibility of her safety and well-being. However, Sharada Mataji politely declined because she wanted to continue living in her own village where she could steadily continue her devotional service. Every day she went to school wearing a sari with tilak on her forehead and japa beads in her hand. However, this became a point of criticism for some people because at that time the state was under a communist government where public expressions of religious faith were often discouraged. One particular incident stands out. One day the headmaster shouted at her angrily, "You cannot come to school wearing tilak. If I see it again, I will smear cow dung all over your face." Sharada Mataji remained completely undisturbed. Calmly and respectfully she replied, "Sir, why do you need to look at my face? You should look at my work, whether I am teaching the student properly or not. Whether I wear a bindi or tilak is not something you should be concerned about." Her calm yet fearless response left the headmaster speechless. From that day onward, he never troubled her again. This was not an isolated incident. Throughout her years of service, she faced many challenges, yet she never compromised on the instructions of her spiritual master. Deep within her heart, she had complete faith. This job was given to me by Gurudeva and Gurudeva will protect it. As time passed, every week she would write letters to her mother in Bhubaneswar asking about Srila Gurudeva. What is Gurudeva doing? Is he in Bhubaneswar or has gone somewhere else for preaching? Her heart longed to return to Bhubaneswar, to once again be in his divine association and to share with him all the experiences she was having in her new job. Sharada Devi recalls, "This happened in the year 1993. Although I repeatedly tried to obtain leave even for just 1 or 2 days so that I could visit Gurudeva, my request was always rejected. There was a shortage of teachers at the school, and every leave application I submitted was denied. Finally, after serving for 3 long months, I was granted leave for the first time for a few days. At that moment, I remembered what Gurudeva had told me before I had joined the job. You have received this job by the mercy of Mahaprabhu. Whatever you earn, use it properly in the service of Mahaprabhu. In those days, my monthly salary was 1800 rupees. After 3 months of service, I received my first payment of rupees 5400. My joy knew no bounds. It was my very first salary, and my heart's deepest desire was to offer every rupee at the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev, so that he could engage it in the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The moment I arrived in Bhubaneswar, I went straight to the temple. My body trembled with excitement. I held the 5400 rupees tightly in my hands, firmly determined to place it directly into Gurudev's hands so that he could use it in Mahaprabhu's service. As I walked towards his residence, countless thoughts filled my mind. After such a long time, I will finally meet Gurudev. What will he say to me when I place this money in his hands and say, Gurudev, this is what I have earned. Please engage it in the service of Mahaprabhu. Surely he will be pleased. With these thoughts, I hurried towards his cottage. When I arrived, the main door was open, but the screen door was locked. Gurudev was seated on his chair, while several of his Western disciples sat cross-legged on the floor before him. I quietly stood outside, deciding that I would meet him after they had finished. From where I stood, I could clearly see everything taking place inside. At that time, the leftover construction of the temple was progressing vigorously. Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj was wholeheartedly striving to fulfill the desire of his spiritual master Srila Prabhupada to complete what would become his 108th temple. Srila Gurudev had instructed many of his disciples to travel and collect funds for this sacred project. Many of my Western godbrothers were traveling far and wide to raise money for the temple. On that very day, one of my godbrothers from Australia, Sripad Jagadish Pandit Prabhu, had just returned from a successful fundraising tour abroad. Smiling brightly, he and the other devotees placed a large suitcase before Gurudev. Srila Gurudev, by your causeless mercy, we have been able to bring this Lakshmi for your service. Kindly accept it. Then they opened the suitcase. It was completely filled with bundles of large denomination currency notes. I could see everything very clearly. I do not know the exact amount, but it must have been several lakhs of rupees. The atmosphere instantly became surcharged with spiritual excitement. All the devotees joyfully began chanting Hari Bol, celebrating this wonderful offering. Standing silently outside, I watched the entire scene unfold. I had often heard that my Western godbrothers collected huge sums of money and offered them to Gurudev, but that day I was witnessing it with my own eyes. It was truly astonishing. Whenever Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj received a donation, regardless of how large it was, his mood was always exactly the same. First, he would offer his respectful obeisances to the money, honoring it as Lakshmi meant exclusively for the service of the Lord. Then, without even touching it, he would simply gesture with his hand for it to be taken to the temple accountant Mahaprabhu Das, so that it could be deposited in the bank. That day Maharaj was visibly pleased by the tireless service attitude of his Western disciples and by their sincere dedication to fulfilling Srila Prabhupada's mission. He blessed them, saying, "All of you will receive the abundant mercy of my Gurudev." Then he folded his hands and offered respectful obeisances to the large stacks of currency placed before him. Afterward, he instructed his servant to hand the money over to Mahaprabhu Das for safekeeping. Sharada Mataji recalls, standing outside the screen door and watching everything, a wave of embarrassment suddenly arose within my heart. What am I doing? I came here carrying such a tiny amount, and I was even feeling proud of it. Gurudev isn't even looking at the lakhs of rupees that his disciples are offering him. What value could my 5400 rupees possibly have? If I try to offer it to him personally, everyone will probably laugh at me. It would be better if I quietly dropped it into the donation box. Thinking this, I tightened my grip on the money in my hand. Just as I was about to turn around and leave, Srila Gurudev's eyes suddenly fell upon me. Sarda, you have come, he called out affectionately. I immediately went inside and offered my obeisances. Gurudev at once asked, So, how is your job going? Are you happy there? Is your job not affecting your spiritual practice? I told him everything about my work, my students, and my daily routine. He listened attentively, gently nodding his head from time to time. Then he asked, Do you tell the children Krishna Katha during your free time? Yes, Srila Gurudev, I replied. Whenever I get the opportunity, I tell them the stories of Lord Krishna and Lord Rama. Hearing this, Gurudev's face blossomed with joy. He continued asking me many questions. Which subjects do you teach? What are your school hours? I happily answered each one, sharing all the details with him. But throughout our entire conversation, my fist kept tightening around the money. I did not want Gurudev to know that I had come to offer my first salary. How could I possibly present such a small amount after witnessing such a magnificent offering? But what can ever be hidden from the spiritual master? He resides within our heart. Even before we think a thought, he already knows it. After a brief pause, he casually asked, What is your basic salary? Rupees 1040, Gurudev. Altogether, I received 1800 per month, I replied. Looking directly into my eyes, Gurudev said, Then in 3 months you must have received 5400 rupees. The moment I heard those words, I froze. Slowly my hands began to move forward and my tight grip loosened. Tears filled my eyes. Opening my palms before Gurudev, I said in a choked voice, Gurudev, I have brought this for you. Although it is insignificant, I offer it at your lotus feet. Kindly accept it and please forgive my foolishness. As I spoke, I tried to place the money on the table where towering stacks of currency notes were already lying. But to my complete astonishment, Gurudev immediately stretched out his hand and said, Oh, your salary, give it to me. He accepted it directly into his own hands. All the devotees were astonished. Only moments earlier, Gurudev had not even touched the lakhs of rupees offered by his disciples. Yet, this small amount he personally accepted with his own hands. Smiling warmly, Srila Gurudev said, you have brought your first 3 months' salary. Very good. Mahaprabhu will be pleased with your service. The other devotees watched in amazement, but I could no longer control my emotions. Bursting into tears, I cried, Oh Gurudev, I have brought such a tiny offering, yet you are so pleased. How can I ever repay your kindness? Your mercy upon this insignificant soul is unlimited. Overwhelmed with gratitude, I felt flat like a stick at his lotus feet, offering my full obeisances. Lord Sri Krishna declares in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit or water, I accept it. In the same way, his representative, the bona fide spiritual master, follow this principle. The Guru does not see the material value of an offering. He accepts only the love, devotion and sincerity with which it is given. When Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj saw the pure selfless devotion in Sharada Devi's heart, he lovingly reciprocated with her in exactly the same way. In truth, this is Lord Krishna himself responding, because there is no difference between the mercy of the Lord and the mercy of his genuine representative. That is why the scripture declares that we can truly meet Krishna only through the medium of Sri Guru. Through this pastime, Srila Gurudev revealed another profound truth, the complete detachment of a genuine saint from material wealth. A true sadhu is never attracted by money or material opulence. His heart is attracted only by the pure love and devotion of his disciples. Sharada Mataji says, Srila Gurudev's loving reciprocation keeps him eternally alive within my heart. It has given me the strength to remember him, to pray to him, and never to forget him. I often meditate upon these pastimes and tears naturally flow from my eyes. This remembrance has become the very foundation of my devotional life. The love Gurudev bestowed upon me is my greatest treasure. Whenever I remember that love, I receive fresh strength to continue on the path of devotion, and even the greatest difficulties become easy to overcome. I pray that Gurudev may shower the same mercy upon all of you. Today, Sharada Mataji has retired from her teaching career. Because of her complete surrender at the lotus feet of her spiritual master, she successfully crossed countless hardships in both her material life and her spiritual journey. Even today, whenever she narrates these pastimes of Gurudev, her eyes fill with tears and she becomes deeply absorbed in devotional emotion. Indeed, the divine pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna and his pure devotees are inexhaustible source of strength and inspiration for all those who sincerely wish to conquer Maya and advance on the path of pure devotional service. All glories to Sharada Mataji, all glories to Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.